You are Locked On Mavericks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Dallas, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, here we go. The Mavs streak and cup run comes to an end tonight in OKC. Welcome into the Locked On Mavericks POSTCAST, your home for the very best Dallas Mavericks coverage. My name is Jeff Biggs. I'm a longtime host and reporter. Happy to be with you, even though this was a tough one tonight. And we can tell you that tonight's episode is brought to you by, and you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. It's brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, this is the Locked On Sports Dallas feed, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Mavericks podcast feed. But coming up in this episode here tonight, we're going to get into what went wrong for the Mavs and why they lost this game tonight, what the Thunder did as SGA led the way to the W, and some surprises in this game as the Mavs will now get a little mini break before they play their next game a week from Thursday. So because they did not advance and because they are not going to Vegas, they will get some much needed rest and some time off before taking on the Clippers again a week from Thursday. But tonight they fall to the Thunder in OKC, 118-104, the final score. Not really as close, although even though it kind of felt like it was a blowout, the Mavs did keep coming back, and they did make runs, especially in the second half. In fact, I mean, if you look at the way the game went, and we'll get more into some of the numbers, but I mean, the fact that it felt so one-sided and so dominant in that first half, and the fact that the Mavs were only down by 3 left the door open for some hope and some optimism that, okay, maybe like we saw in the Memphis game, that the Mavs were going to come back and find a way to pull this one out. Looked like they were getting close. I mean, they got it into single digits in the fourth quarter, but were just not able to get over the hump. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on this one. Full disclosure, forgive me, I'm a little mellow tonight. This virus thing, obviously I didn't get it from the team, but there's something going around. I've been pretty down the last couple of nights, but there was no way I'm going to miss this game, even under the weather. But my throat's really hurting tonight. But had to watch this game, had to be with you, had to talk about it tonight. But I'm not feeling great. But with that said, no PJ Washington tonight. It was his turn to get hit with the illness, and I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, in the first meeting that the Mavs won last month, I mean, PJ had 27 and 17, and the 17 were his career high in rebounds. So he was, without a doubt, he was clearly missed. Again, the Thunder didn't have Holmgren, so I get it. You know, that's part of the game. But the bummer, more than anything, more than the loss, is just, the Mavs have been playing so well, 7 in a row, 11 out of 12. And I was really kind of hoping that after the win in Toronto and a couple of days off, I thought, okay, they had a little bit of a break, some days off in there, that everybody would get back healthy and that they would be able to go into this game tonight, 100% ready to go. And when Nick broke the news, Nick Anstead broke the news yesterday that it was PJ that was feeling it. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. And obviously he wasn't there. But I think for me, just bigger takeaway. Look, we talk about this a lot. Over the course of the season, you're going to have games where you play lights out. You're going to have a couple of games where you just don't play well. You're going to have really bad teams in the NBA that play lights out, and vice versa. That and when I looked at this game tonight, I mean, hey, give the Thunder credit. They were motivated, they were energized, and they came out from the get-go, and they were able to keep it going. They were able to withstand all of the Mavs runs, but they were sky high. They were sky high on defense. They came in with a game plan of, hey, we are not going to let Luka get hot and go off. I mean, Luka very quietly, since he's been back, has kind of been ramping it up gradually and has been playing really, really well. And they came in and said, we're not going to let Luka dominate this game and win this game. And to their credit, they double teamed, triple teamed him the entire game. And I think on a positive front, if you will, on a positive note, this will be a great piece of video for Jason Kidd and the staff to kind of work out of kind of moving forward of what to do and how to handle that kind of pressure. I don't think the Mavs are going to see, defensive pressure like we saw in the game tonight from the Thunder. I really don't. That was probably the best defensive performance that they're going to see probably all season, or at least during the regular season. But when I still, with all that said, and again, this is not to take anything away from the Thunder, I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can win that way and play that way and beat the Mavs that way 4 times out of 7. I just don't. And if I'm wrong, and they do, and they keep it going and they make it to the finals and the Mavs don't, then I will be the first to come on here after the series, and I'll come on and say, hey, I was completely wrong. But I still think deep down, even though they played lights out tonight and they were feeling it and they got comfortable and all those things, I still think the Mavs are the better team, and I still think there's still kind of a big brother, little brother thing going on here. And when push comes to shove, big brother, you don't lose to little brother. You just don't. As the oldest of 3, you just don't. And so, hey, props to the Thunder. They played great, but I think it was one game. I don't think this means anything. I think you can take some things from this, take and learn some things. And obviously, I think teams around the league are going to take a look at it and try to use some of the same strategy that the Thunder did, especially going up against Luka. But big picture, this is one game, and I'm sorry. I know the NBA is really, really pushing hard to get this cup tournament going, and I wanted the Mavs to go. I mean, hey, anytime you can get teams playing at a high level and you're playing with, win or go home elimination games, I mean, I think that's always fun. I think it's a great idea at this time of the year when the NFL is king and football is king. It's a nice way to kind of get the NBA out of that mode of, well, the NBA really doesn't start until after Christmas. This has been a nice way to kind of get the juices going and get everybody cranked up. But again, it's a made for TV. It's a made for, sponsors event. It's not the finals. It's not the playoffs. It's not playing in May and June and the rigors of a 7-game series and the adjustments that are made in a playoff series. So again, great. And, if you win the cup, great. But, for lack of a better comparison, I don't want to compare it to the home run derby for baseball, but I mean, it's just, okay. It's fun and it's great. And, for the teams that win, for some of the guys that don't make a lot of money to get that extra $500,000, awesome. That's great. But I think, honestly, as somebody, behind the Mavs, I look at it like, honestly, I mean, yeah, the run would have been great, but for this group and for this team and for all the travel and the illness and everything else, I'm actually I'm okay with the rest. Let the guys get the rest, let them spend some time at home. Like I said, get a little mini bye, mini break. I mean, they've earned it. I've said this now for over a week, almost 2 weeks now. I've never seen a crazier schedule in the first couple of months than what the Mavs had to go through. I've never seen 4 one-game homestands for a team like that. To come home for one game and go back on the road 4 times in the first month and a half. I've never seen that before in my almost 35 years covering the NBA. So, big picture, again, the cup run would have been nice. Would have been great to have a nice matchup over the weekend in Vegas, but all things considered, I'm okay with the rest, and I'm okay with the Mavs and Thunder resuming this rivalry down the road in the playoffs when it really matters. And again, can the Thunder play like they did tonight and shoot 53s and have SGA go off for 39? Can they do that 4 times out of 7? I'm going to say they can't. So we'll see. But they're a good young talented squad that is certainly going to get better, and they're going to be right there for years to come. They should be, barring any more injuries. And I think it's a good test. It's a good kind of blueprint. The Mavs they've been rolling, they've been adjusting, they've been finding all kinds of different ways, different lineups to win games. Almost came back in this one, came up short, but some good things to learn, to take away. I'm going to talk more about some of the surprises for me from this game, but just tough night for the Mavs tonight. They come up short. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about some more of the numbers, kind of break down the game a little bit. Also, some surprises, some things that were different this game compared to the first meeting of the season. That's all coming up on the Locked On Mavs postcast here on a Tuesday night. All right, with big wireless providers, all right, you know the drill. What you see is never really what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying kind of magically skyrockets, right? You think, oh man, I'm going to get this great deal. Well, with Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Got to have that. So ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3 months premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. That's mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 GB on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, welcome back to the Locked On Mavs postcast. Jeff Biggs with you on this Tuesday night after the Mavs fall short in OKC, 118-104. I was taking taking a look back at that first meeting of the season last month in OKC when the Mavs won 121 to 119. No Luka in that game. PJ Washington had 27 points and a career high 17 rebounds. Kyrie added 23. The Mavs out-rebounded the Thunder in that game 53 to 29, and they went to the free throw line 36 times. So that was kind of how that game went, right? Well, so you look at the game tonight, 118 to 104, SGA 39, the Thunder 20 of 50 beyond the three-point line. They put up 53s. And when you look at the free throw numbers, the Mavs only went to the line 19 times total. The Thunder only went to the line seven times. Turnovers were a big issue in the first half. The Mavs had 12 in the first half, 6 in the second, so they got a little bit better. But on the boards this time around, the Thunder had the edge 52 to 44 over the Mavs on the boards. And so that just kind of lets you know what kind of a night it was. The Thunder had a really good finish to the first quarter. They led 32-24. SGA really got hot early and never looked back with 16 points in the first quarter. But again, like I said, as much as it felt, right, like just a dominant first half for the Thunder, right, they only led by 3 points. It was only 57-54. The Thunder, though, in the first half, 11 of 31 from beyond the three-point line. How about Najee, though? How about Najee coming back with 14 points, a team high in the first half, 11 for Clay with only 2 in the first half for Luka. And again, though, as much as it felt like OKC dominated, they only led by 3. Unfortunately, in quarter number 3, the Thunder blew it open. They had the run of 11-0 and then a 16-2 run, and then that brutal finish when it looked like the Mavs had a chance to kind of get back, get it under 10 right before the fourth. Instead, the Thunder had those big threes, Isaiah Joe, and it was 90-73 after 3. The Mavs did respond, though. They had a 10-0 run in the fourth. Kyrie finally got it going. And how about Omax? How about Omax getting some quality minutes and making some big-time shots in this game? I mean this kind of like half kidding, but also half seriously. Omax in the game tonight ended up in 12 minutes, 6 points with 2 threes, right? Had a couple of rebounds and 1 assist, but I mean that this is not I'm not being sarcastic. This is not a dig. I love watching that guy play. I don't know what it is. You can call it an Omax obsession. I just like watching the guy play. I'm just kind of rooting for him and kind of hoping that he'll get some more playing time, and it's going to be tough, but there's just something about the guy. But he made the most of his opportunity, made the most of those 12 minutes, again, with a couple of big threes. And then he kind of looked down the box score. Derek Lively, 5 points, 13 rebounds. It was actually Clay led the way. Clay and Najee led the way tonight, both with 19 points, right? Najee off the bench, obviously. Kyrie had 17, ended up going 3 of 5 from beyond the three-point line, but 7 of 14 from the field. And again, Luka, very quiet, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists in 40 minutes, but Luka was 2 of 8 from beyond the three-point line, only went to the free throw line 5 times and was 5 of 15 overall shooting the ball. You had Quentin Grimes with a very quiet 4, not a not a solid night for Quentin. Didn't do a lot there. Najee with 19 off the bench. Daniel Gafford, 9 points off the bench, but only had 3 rebounds. No, I'm sorry, only 2. Excuse me, only 2 rebounds for Daniel Gafford. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, probably the quietest 9 that he's had this season. I mean, I didn't think he had 9. He ended up with 1 3, 3 of 9, with 4 assists and 3 rebounds, but only 23 minutes tonight for Spencer Dinwiddie, who didn't have that impact, especially in the second half, like we've seen of late of Spencer. Just not his game tonight, not the team's game tonight, and that's why they lost 118 to 104. All right, when we come back, our final segment, we're going to get into some of the other notes and numbers and some of the things that stood out to me. But again, the Thunder, they pulled away and did what they had to win this game. The third quarter, though, really was the difference. Coming out of the locker room when it was a 3-point game, the Thunder ended up outscoring the Mavs in the third, 33 to 19, and just not enough time, not enough bodies, not enough energy to come back and pull that out. We'll be right back. This is the Locked On Mavs postcast. All right, got to talk to you about our friends at FanDuel. You know what time it is and what time of the year it is, right? Well, you get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. And FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Jeff Biggs back with you on the Locked On Mavs postcast. Don't forget to check out Nick Anstead, Isaac, Slightly Biased, the whole crew during the week. I know they're going to be coming up tonight, probably already getting underway with their thoughts and reaction to tonight's game as well. But again, they'll have lots of content coming up here the rest of the week until the Mavs return to action a week from Thursday when they take on back. It'll be the first of 2 games not back to back, but 2 straight games against the LA Clippers coming up again next week. The plan was if they won tonight, it would have been their 8th win in a row, 12 out of 13. But the run comes to an end tonight, 118 to 104 against the Thunder. Again, the game plan for OKC was pretty straightforward. Double, triple team, quadruple team Luka, do whatever they could do to keep him from getting going. And for the most part, they were pretty effective, although Luka did finally get it going in the second half. Only had 2 points in the first half, his lowest scoring first half of the season. And so, again, you're Jason Kidd and the coaching staff, and of course, Luka himself. You're gonna take a look at that, and you're gonna figure out, okay, if teams are going to do that, if that's going to be maybe a plan down the road or come playoff time, then you need to find a way to deal with that. Get those open corner threes, get the ball movement, and they will. The great ones. Hey, look, defense and double teams and triple teams in the NBA are nothing new. They've been going on for decades, and the great teams, the great coaches, the championship teams, they adjust, they figure out how to do it, and the great players find a way to rebound and deal with it and overcome it and still do their thing and still get off. And I fully expect that to happen with Luka. Again, great win tonight for the Thunder. Does that mean they're going to do it in the playoffs, or does that mean they could play at that level and beat the Mavs in a 7-game series? We'll see. I don't think they can. That's they played probably their best game of the season tonight. I mean, they defensively shot the ball really well. I mean, 23s out of 50, and that was their plan, and they did a really good job of kind of setting up their offense with their defense. That's what good teams do, is use your defense to kind of get your offense going, and they were able to feed off of that and create those points off of turnovers. And kind of a quiet night for Kyrie as well. No PJ Washington, and just not the Mavs night. That's going to happen, but I'm excited to kind of get this part of the season behind. I mean, I think without a doubt, the Mavs are not going to have a more grueling schedule than what they had there. Here as we're in the middle of not even the middle of December yet, and with all those road games and all that traveling, and they even showed the map tonight during the TV broadcast, and you could see for yourself. I mean, the Mavs were literally all over the place, all over the country, with 4 one-game homestands, and it's just crazy. So I think the good news is, I think for me, kind of coming away from this game, is they're going to get some time off. They're going to get time off here to rest and really kind of heal up and get over this illness thing, kind of take a mental break, get to spend a little time. It's easy to forget, or easy to not remember that. I mean, these guys are people. They're human too. They have families, and they got stuff going on, and responsibilities, and they do a good job of kind of putting that aside for the most part during the crazy season. But they'll have some time at home, get to kind of soak that in a little bit. Hopefully, the one thing I always say, as traveling as a former reporter with the team, one thing you realize is once the season gets started, it's really hard to really get any kind of good, meaningful practice time. Maybe, once a week, if you're lucky. That's a stretch, but I mean, it's really hard between the injuries and the traveling and everything else. It's difficult. So the Mavs are going to have some time here to not only have some rest time and some downtime, but also hopefully some really good practice time. And even though you hate to lose this game, this will lead to some I think some really good practices with this group. Taking things away from what we saw in this game tonight. So that will be good. And you can't say enough. I mean, to get this little mini bye again with still the All-Star break coming up down the road, it's good. And so I think that the positives for me so far, we know Kyrie and Luka are going to do their thing. Looks like the 1-2 punch with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford has just been better than I thought, and just continues to get better. The way that they just go hand in hand, and the way that they go back and forth throughout the game. Love the way that they're doing that. Looks like Clay is kind of getting going again. Spencer Dinwiddie has kind of, I think, solidified his role, and he's becoming kind of a nice presence, a nice kind of stopper and finisher at the end of games, which is really good. And then we'll have to see, we'll see when PJ gets back. He's been playing great. PJ Washington, good to see Najee stepping up and asserting himself and kind of getting into his role. And we'll see about Omax and see if he can get some more minutes. And obviously we want to see Quentin Grimes come back and really have the big role with this squad as well. But the Mavs come up short tonight, 118 to 104. They'll head back home where they've been away for a while. They've been on the road a lot over the last month, but they'll have some time off and get ready to take on the Clippers. Thank you, though, for hanging with me tonight and being a part of this. Again, don't forget the Locked On Mavericks podcast with Nick Anstead and the crew. Without a doubt, the best Mavs coverage that is out there, and Nick does a great job of just breaking it down and giving you all kinds of great content every single day. I'll be back with you after the next game with the Clippers coming up. Thanks for being patient with me. A little under the weather tonight, but had to be there. Wanted to be here with you. Wanted to get on and talk about this game. Tough finish, but the Mavs didn't quit. They kept fighting, and they just came up short. Props to the Thunder. They had a huge win. 118 to 104, the final. My name is Jeff Biggs. You've been watching and listening to the Locked On Mavs postcast.